Hello and welcome to the Festive Savvy Corner. My name is Alisa, and if you're new here, I'd like to officially welcome you to the channel. I make money-related videos covering personal and business finances, financial well-being and money mindset. If this is the type of content you like or are interested in, stick around and consider subscribing. I'd love to have you join the community. Last year, in 2018, in the United States alone, people spent $998 billion during the holiday season. For 2019, that number is predicted to rise to over $1 trillion in the US and over £2 billion in the UK. The average spend per person in the UK is over £410 for men and £370 for women. Now, these figures might not seem exorbitant, but remember that these are average numbers and include people on the lower end of the spectrum who spend very little, be that by choice or by necessity because they can't afford to spend more. But at the higher end of the spectrum, people spend a lot more money, sometimes thousands of pounds, over the festive period. Whichever way we look at it, the winter holiday season comes with a lot of financial commitments. Buying food, presents for family and friends, and attending social engagements can quickly burn a hole into your pocket. In this video, I want to give you some tips on how to manage your money around the winter holidays. I'm not going to go into buying Christmas presents because I talked about that in my previous video, and I will also do another video on the topic later in the month. So this video will focus mostly on the other expenses you can expect to have around this time of the year, namely food and social commitments. Make sure you watch until the end, because I will also touch upon a third type of expenditure which most of us are tempted to make around this time of the year. But first, let's talk about food. Tons of food are wasted every year, and according to the Environmental Protection Agency, we produce on average 25% more waste over the Christmas period. You can avoid adding to these statistics by planning your shopping in advance and carefully considering the food that you will prepare. If you're going to host a meal, you can focus on providing the main dishes and ask your guests to contribute drinks, snacks or desserts. Don't be tempted to go overboard with how much food you prepare. It's likely that your guests will be overstuffed anyway. They won't need 5 courses plus chocolate cake, and overfeeding them doesn't make you a better host. Also, consider the fact that you are likely to eat out a lot more or at other people's houses, and therefore you won't be able to use the leftovers. They will go off before you have the chance to eat them. My suggestion is to make a realistic estimation of how much food you need over this period, and then reduce that to 80% of whatever realistic quantity you came up with. We tend to exaggerate how much food we need, and I can promise you, you won't starve at Christmas, so don't go hoarding food. Also, make a list of what you want to buy and stick to that list. If you also want to keep an eye on your silhouette over the holiday season, less is more when it comes to food and alcohol. Speaking of alcohol, let's talk about social engagements. The key here is to be intentional. It's likely that there will be a few social events happening over the holiday season, and saying yes to every single one of them will quickly add up financially. It's important to be intentional about which one of these engagements you will attend and how much you're willing to spend on each of them. While it's nice to see friends and spend time with your colleagues outside of work, you don't have to accept every invitation. One group gathering with work friends is to be expected, but several meetings with individual people from that group might create unnecessary financial pressure for you. As a general rule of thumb, group meetings are more cost-effective than one-to-one or small gatherings. The best thing you can do here is to set a budget for going out. Based on this, you can decide which events you want to attend, and if you want to go to some of them later in the evening and only join for drinks rather than drinks and dinner. Another thing you could do is to organize the social engagement yourself. This allows you to pick a budget-friendly location and even negotiate financial terms with the venue, which means that sometimes you don't have to pay it for yourself. Bringing your friends together for these meetings means that you will get to see them all at once and therefore save money in the process. You can also organize social gatherings at your place and ask people to bring some drinks and some nibbles. A wine and cheese night works well, but you could also have more casual gatherings where you watch a movie with your friends, maybe play cards or a board game together, or even create Christmas decorations together and gift them to each other. These at-home gatherings not only cost less, but they are more intimate and more enjoyable in my opinion. Finally, I want to touch upon spending money on yourself during this period. It's the end of the year, you're tired, perhaps you've had a particularly hard year or a very good one, and maybe you received a bonus just before the holiday season. For whatever reason, you might be tempted to spend more on yourself than you usually do. And that's fine. I want to encourage you to take care of yourself, of your physical and mental health, your appearance maybe during this festive period, your confidence and so on. However, please don't do that to the detriment of your financial situation because it will backfire. You will feel better in the moment, but you might experience financially induced stress later on. So be mindful of the things that you buy and ask yourself, why is it that you're really buying them? Until a few years ago, I thought retail therapy was some BS invented by someone just to coin a quirky term. But since I became a financial coach, I start to see the effects of people believing that shopping is indeed some form of therapy. If it is, it doesn't last for very long. Be aware of your shopping behavior, be aware of what triggers certain purchases for you, and make intentional choices to buy things that will truly benefit you now and in the future. And with that being said, I will end this video here. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I release new money-related videos every week. I have also carefully selected the 2 videos you see suggested on the screen, because I want to help you manage money and your mind around it. So go and watch them if you've got the time. That's it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!